Welcome to the second annual Dinner in the Dark. Thank you so much for being here tonight. My name is Elliot. I bet you've heard a lot about Focus Ahead and Elliot's Mission 1 and 2. What I like about Dinner in the Dark is that you can talk to your friends and socialize and eat dinner all under blindfold. I hope you leave tonight having a greater understanding of blindness and how hard activities are for us every day. Currently, there's no treatment for my eyes and the people in the audience, but hopefully one day there is. My biggest fear is going blind, and I hope every day of my life that I can see. I hope you enjoy this wonderful evening. Thank you.
When Elliot was diagnosed with his very rare retinal disease in January of 2020, called Leber's congenital amaurosis, that day of diagnosis, we were told that there was no treatment, that he would continue to lose his sight and he would be blind. We left that day with no plan for the future. We went through a lot of grief, but through support of family and friends, and really not wanting to stick with that answer that there was nothing that we could do. Through a lot of discernment, we came up with our nonprofit of Focus Ahead. And really, when you look at the word Focus Ahead, the name of our nonprofit, we really focus on bringing awareness to visual impairments and blindness and moving ahead towards the treatment of the eye diseases that cause it. You know, our organization of nonprofit is Focus Ahead is small, but I would say that we're small but mighty. Our past 2 years of having this dining experience that is very unique and impactful has really just sparked a lot of attention, and we are going to be moving it around the communities of North Dakota. And so our greatest hope is twofold. Number one, that individuals get to experience what that evening is like under blindfold, to gain that empathy, awareness, and understanding what it is like to be blind. But again, number two is we really want to be able to support ongoing science and research that is out there, but is limited right now because we are such a rare disease, and be a small part of bringing that hope to children and adults that treatment will be there. So I don't have to wake up, Elliot doesn't have to wake up, all others don't have to wake up and wonder when is his eyesight gonna go, and really be able to give him and the rest of us something to hold on to.
North Dakota Nonprofit Focus Ahead. 1 year ago, we gathered and many of you were there. I see so many familiar faces. We're here 1 year later in a new space. And the reason for that is because there was a demand for more spots. So yay, thank you for being here and thank you for creating that demand. We're here 1 year later with a different speaker, traveled all the way from Texas, and we were a little concerned if you were gonna get here, Tracy. So we are so glad you're here.
NASA does space travel.
We are so glad. Same dedicated Focus Ahead board. Thank you to all of you. And we have generous table sponsors again. I'd like to recognize those table sponsors now. Please stand. At the gold level, we have Clint and Allison Wolf family. Dawn and Jackie Height family. And next, Era Energy. Thank you for level sponsors. Silver level sponsors, Dakota Tallow, Jeffrey Farms, Jacob Holzer and Gross families, Kappa Alpha Theta alumni. We still want you to stand. Where are you, ladies? There they are. Lumen Vision. Dr. Ryan, you need to stand. Sean and Kelly Burgott. Where are you? The Lynn family. There they are. Tom and Shannon Stone. And Tom and Tammy Burr. Thank you. To all of our sponsors, thank you. We also want to recognize those that have given of their time and talents. Our in-kind donors, we ask that you also stand. Dreets Designs. Steph, where are you? There she is. Flash Printing. Thank you. Portals Haven. There's the lead right over here, to your left. Love Always Floral. Melissa's not here, but provided us with these incredible arrangements. And Tom Stump in the back taking pictures. Thank you. Thank you to the sanctuary. Not only did it allow us more seating and a greater capacity, but look at this beautiful venue. We are so thankful. Our food tonight, that many of you have already started to indulge in, is provided by Chef's Table Catering, so thank you to them as well. Lastly, we've got a couple really important people in our audience. We're honored to have Lieutenant Governor Michelle Strington with us. Will you please stand? Thank you for being here. And a representative from Senator Kevin Kramer's office. Office, Reed Kemp. Reed, will you please stand? We gather tonight for the same reason, to support the same mission. The mission of Focus Ahead is to raise awareness, to advocate, and to accelerate research for those affected by inherited retinal dystrophies. We focus on enhancing community awareness on blindness and moving ahead towards treatment that will allow children and adults to see our world longer. What a great evening and what a great reason to gather. Thank you for being here. And now before we put on those blindfolds, I recognize the irony of asking you to shift your attention to your screens, but we're going to do just that. Take a look at our screens.
And how our activities are for us every day. Currently, there is no treatment for my eyes and the people in the audience, but hopefully one day there is. My biggest fear is going blind, and I hope every day of my life that I can see. I hope you enjoy this wonderful evening. Thank you.
Thanks to Lee Bortle Saban for that video. The conversation has been started. You saw the footage from last year's event, and we've sparked some interest and curiosity in our community. That's immeasurable, and so we're so thankful that you're giving of your time, you're giving of your gifts, to be here and to continue to walk with us as we continue to follow the mission of Focus Ahead. My name is Ashley Askew-Kwame, and it is a pleasure to be here. My association or connection to Focus Ahead is that I did the math, Wolves, and I think it was about 16 or 17 years ago, Julia, that I got to be Julia's kindergarten teacher. I didn't know the Wolves prior to that, but it started a great friendship. Fast forward, I was teaching pre-K years later and got to be Elliot's pre-K teacher. As many of you know, pre-K is a year of self-discovery, learning, making mistakes, growing from them, learning from them, trying again. And Elliot's experience was no different, but Elliot's ups and downs were just a little more significant and a little rockier than the others. And so we weren't far into pre-K, and I gave Clinton Allison a call and just said, I think there's something else going on here. And Elliot loves to ask me now about pre-K. I think his favorite question is, how many times did I go to the principal's office? To which I never have an answer. I don't think we went to the principal's office in pre-K, Elliot. I felt there was a piece missing to his puzzle. And I felt there was a piece that deserved our attention, deserved our dedication, and deserved a greater answer. If you know Elliot, you know it doesn't take long for him to wrap you around his little finger, and so the rest is history. I am here today for him. I'm here today for other kids like him in North Dakota, and I am so thankful that you are here too. My love and passion for this little boy and my desire for us to look and seek and find treatment and a cure is so deep and so real. So I thank you for being here. All right, you may be asking yourself, why are we here? Why is there a blindfold in front of me? Why is there a bib on my chair? What's this all about? Well, I'm confident, especially if you weren't here last year, that this event will be unlike any other dinner you've attended. And that's okay with us. We want you to walk away educated, inspired, and motivated, and to be an advocate for those with vision impairments. We have so much in store for you. We're going to encourage you. Enjoy yourself. have fun, and fully embrace this experience. At this time, Dr. Ryan Zappo, we're bringing him up. He is with Lumen Vision. He's going to lead us in prayer.
Thank you, Ashley. Before we start prayer, I just want to acknowledge a significant loss that we had in the eye care community who, because of his dedication to patients, is a big reason why we're all here. I want to pay tribute to Dr. Tom Strinden, who many of you know recently passed away. It's such an honor to have his wife here with us. And Michelle, you may not know this, Dr. Strinden's the reason that I'm an optometrist, because he saved my vision when I was a young 12-year-old boy and went blind for 2 weeks. So I have a very special appreciation and fondness for your husband. And also, Dr. Strinden was the one who caught Elliot's condition and made the referrals that were appropriate to help him see better. So such an honor that you're here, and I just wanted to pay tribute to him. Please join me in prayer. Lord God, you teach us to walk by faith and not by sight. Help us in this evening to learn what life is like without sight, to fully embrace the challenges and the struggles, for us to have the humility to laugh at ourselves tonight in the difficult moments that will come up. Help us to build a greater awareness for all of your creation, especially those who need the most help in our community. Help us also to raise awareness and funding for inherited retinal conditions. Help us in this season to be generous with our prayers and our hearts and our finances. Bless the food that we're about to eat. Bless the company and the groups that we will share fellowship with tonight. We pray also for those less fortunate than us who might not have a meal tonight. And we pray all of this through the holy and powerful name of your Son, Christ Jesus our Lord. Amen.
Okay, just a couple housekeeping items for you. You may want to fill that water and wine now. There's a reason we have black linens, but fill up that wine glass. If you need restrooms at any time tonight, they're going to be out these doors and to your right. Your salad and bread should already be in front of you. And your dinner will be arriving shortly. At that time, we will already have blindfolds on. And so that serving staff will alert you as they approach you and place that in front of you. After everyone's dinner is served, they'll be coming around with dessert. You may have noticed underneath your salad, there's a program for the evening. And the newest, you're the first ones to get this. Last year we gave you Elliot's Mission. Author Elliot has been hard at work. Elliot's Mission 2.0. You are the first to receive this. So in an effort to not spill, you may want to tuck that under your seat. When you're done eating, you may remove your blindfold. This will alert our wait staff to come and clear your plates. If at any time you need assistance, additional silverware, there's a spill, just raise your hand. All right, now is the time. We thank you for embracing this adventure. We thank you for sharing your evening with us. If your bib isn't already on, please do that now. As well as your blindfold. You're going to notice there's one side of your blindfold that has a little piece for your nose. So there is a top and a bottom. Enjoy your meal.
I think that's an important
That's crazy.
There you go.
Still eating, please know that you can continue to enjoy your meal. In about 8 minutes, we're going to welcome our guest speaker up on stage. And so at that time, we will invite all of you to remove your blindfolds. Between now and then, you'll likely receive your dessert. But we would encourage you, if you need to use the restroom or grab another drink, to do that now. With a BS in computer science. In 1984, he started working for NASA as a Rockwell engineer responsible for training astronauts and flight controllers on how to deploy shuttle payloads and satellites and how to operate the shuttle computer systems. In 1998, Tracy was hired by NASA to work in shuttle flight software command for the shuttle at International Space Station and was promoted to branch chief in 2000. Tracy was selected to chair the ISS, which is the International Space Station, Ground Segment Control Board in 2004. The Ground Segment Control Board is responsible for setting up the interfaces between the NASA Mission Control Center at the Johnson Space Center Center and the International Partners Control Centers. The position required extensive travel to Russia, Japan, Germany, Italy, and Canada. In 2009, a new branch was formed where Tracy served over the GSCB, MCC operations, and the Flight Software Command. Tracy has received the NASA Astronaut Silver Snoopy Award, the NASA Space Act Award, the NASA Space Flight Awareness Award, and the Rockwell President's Award. Tracy retired from NASA in 2023 and started an LLC called Plan, Train, Fly Consulting. Tracy has been passionate about outreach and encouraging youth to reach for their dreams throughout his career. He's been a keynote speaker at South by Southwest, Disney, NOAA, Rice University, and numerous schools and aerospace organizations. Tracy has retinitis pigmentosa and has been legally blind since he was 15 years old. Retinitis pigmentosa has attacked 6 generations of his family. He is a big advocate for retinal research and DNA testing. Tracy met his wife Sherry, who is also here with us tonight, in college, and they've been married for 46 years. They are I have an outdated bio. It's 47. They have 3 sons and 5 grandchildren. Tracy has completed 31 full marathons and 2 triathlons. He was the first legally blind person to fly in NASA's microgravity plane, also known as the Vomit Comet. And tonight he's here with us in Fargo, North Dakota, supporting North Dakota's nonprofit Focus Ahead. Please join me in welcoming Tracy.
Can you hear me? Good evening, Fargo! Go, go, go! So, with that beautiful introduction, I guess I'm done. Any questions? I have, as she said earlier, I started off as writing software for the coolest simulator in the world. That's the motion-based shuttle simulator. It would lay you on your back. It would vibrate. You look out the window, you'd see the launch tower going by, and it would shoot up. When you wanted to land, you put the stick down, the whole thing would move. I could blow tires. I could get crosswinds, fail engines, all these things to train the astronaut on how to do their work. I also train them on the Hubble telescope. And so what you do is you look at the back of the shuttle. If you look at the back of the window, that's the tail back there where y'all are, and you went out there and hit a 10-foot robotic arm, and you hit a shoulder, elbow, and wrist joint. The camera's here and here, and then we have snares here, and the Hubble telescope would have a dropper picture. So we would turn it on to internal batteries, and then we would go out, remove the trunnions that were holding it in its place, grab hold of it, pick it up, move it over, pour the solar rays, and release it. And I did all that while I was legally blind. All 3 has attacked my family for 7. So my great-grandmother, my grandmother, when I knew her, she was blind. My mom was a carrier. So some way her body produced the proteins that I don't have. I have it, and I got it when I was around 15. My son, who's 37, he's a pastor at our church that we grew up in, and then we just found out my 5-year-old grandson Hank has this eye disease. So you can say I'm very, very motivated to stop this disease and to stop all retinal diseases, because there's a lot of cures for all of them. You know, they're doing amazing things now. It's not if we would cure blindness, it's when. Because the research and everything's out there, but it takes money. That's one of the reasons I encourage people to get their DNA tested. You know, LCA, we know what LA has. It's important you know it, because I always tell them, more people that have your eye disease, pharmaceuticals want to make money. So the more people have your eye disease, the more profitable a cure would be. And I always say that numbers drive money, money funds research, and research funds cure. So what y'all are doing today is so important, because your contributions are going to be what we need to get the LCA and the other retinal diseases all eliminated. You know, they have things like stem cell, they have CRISPR, they have gene therapy. Gene therapy, there's 350 different versions of retinitis pigmentosa. So you can imagine it each costs a couple of million to get into phase 3 and release for humans to use. So it costs so much money right now, but some of them are generic. They also got something where they're looking at transplanting the eye. Wouldn't that be amazing? And you know, I've always thought, I think I have kind of bluish eyes. Maybe I could get a green one. You know, I have a green, it'd be pretty cool. So I could be blinking. What color your eye? What do you think? I don't know. So anyway, those are the kind of things that I'm super excited about that they're doing. When I was young, I started losing my vision. I still did not withdraw from doing activities, much like what I see Elliot being a great example. I played on the football team, and to get from the gymnasium to the football field, I had one of my teammates hold a towel, and I would run with him with the towel out on the field. And by the way, I was a starter, but it was a small school. It was very small. I was considered big in the early 70s. So I played football, I ran on the track team, I high jumped, and pole vaulted when I was in high school. So I always tell people, you know, chase your dreams. So what I thought I would start off with is tell you a little bit about what NASA is doing with your tax dollar, because we're all starting to think about the tax man. So this is the good herb. So I'm going to find that little shuttle over here. The space station, pretend this is a space station, the entire shuttle, but it is going 250 miles above the Earth, and it's going around at 17,500 miles per hour. It does an orbit every 90 minutes. They see 16 sunsets and 16 sunrises in a day. They get old fast, but they are doing things you can only do in microgravity. They're doing research on the human body that you do. You know, we think of H2O. You know, that stays together. There's compounds we can make, drugs we can do in space that you can't do. We can study the human body. If somebody has to go on bed rest for a long time, when you're weightless, your heart can shrink by 1/3. They spend an hour and a half to 2 hours a day exercising to keep their heart strong. Because it's a muscle, it doesn't have to pump hard. So all kind of good research we're doing there. Actually, I don't think we'll use the earth anymore. So I'll put it over there. So now I thought I'd talk about the Artemis rocket. Artemis is the twin sister of Apollo. And if you look at it, you took these two solid rocket boosters off, it would look just like the Apollo. But what we did is we took some of the shuttle. If you looked at the shuttle rode on an external tank. Both the external tank and the SLS, Space Launch System, is liquid oxygen and liquid hydrogen they burn. It would ride these two solid rocket boosters to get it up higher, and then this part of the rocket carries it the rest of the way. So it's kind of like we combine the shuttle and the Apollo, and this has 8.8 million pounds of thrust. The Orion capsule can hold 4 people, and we will fly. Orion 2 will launch in the February to April time frame. And one of the nice things about the Orion capsule, in Apollo, they had to bag all their food and urine. This actually has a bathroom. Bathroom, I'll tell you, this is Marty's society, no outhouses. The other thing, we'll be flying our first African American to go around the moon. We've had every kind of race you can think of go up in the space station. Every kind of person go up. And we'll have the first female to go around the moon. And what I like to tell people is that the female astronauts, if they all live in Houston, they'll be wearing cowgirl boots. So we're really excited about that. And next, over here, is Mars. So we're also spending your tax dollars. In 2021, we landed a rover and a helicopter. And that rover is still working. And it's called Perseverance, because it's crawling. And it's collecting rock samples, doing all the research, sending it back to us, but it's also put it in capsules so we can find signs of ancient life. We can look at the geology. So you want to study rocks and other things? We need you at NASA. And it's also looking at the climate so we can prepare ourselves for human travel there. And then we had the helicopter called Ingenuity, because Mars, if you didn't know it, has 1% atmosphere. So a helicopter, if you wave it in front of your face, feel that air? Think if we only have 1% air. When first we go, ooh, also we're going to do so. I always say that blade didn't go super duper fast. We had something called the DART. That was in 2022, and it's called Planetary Defense. And I love this project we did. We launched a rocket, and say a meteorite, this is a meteorite, or an asteroid coming towards the Earth. We launched something and took an asteroid and knocked it off its course. So if it's coming right towards us, we now have proven that we can move that off. And I tell you, the dinosaurs would have really liked to have this long time. So next I'll just talk about the James Webb Space Telescope. So it's looking back to the beginning of time. You know, the Hubble is in low Earth orbit, but you still have some of the things when you look up on a cloudy day. And we have to reboost it because its orbit is decaying, because it's being kept in its orbit by the Earth's gravity slowly comes down. But the James Webb is 1,000,000 miles up, and it can look back to the beginning of time. And some people say, how do you mean? What do you mean? So my son went to Japan, and when he's there, he took a photo of himself and mailed it to my wife and I. And he had a beard. 2 weeks later, after he was home, I got the card. He'd already shaved. I was looking back at what he looked like 2 weeks ago. We're looking at light that's been traveling billions and billions. Is that like, who's that guy that does all this stuff? Anyway, billions of years ago, and seeing back to the beginning of time. So what I'd like to do is I have 100 pennies in my pocket, and I'm going to see how many of these pennies does NASA get out of your tax dollar. So, couple in the back. Don't be thinking in your head. You got it right. Oh, wait. Oh, wait. Oh, there it was. Well, that's a penny. We get about half of 1 penny. So don't ever say I don't have consent. But anyway, I'll throw that to the side. So next, I'd like to talk to you about my thoughts on people with disabilities, especially the visually impaired and blind. You know, Neil Armstrong is the first man to walk on the moon. A great man as Neil Armstrong was, we could not have gone to the moon and brought him back if we filled NASA with clones of Neil Armstrong. It took diversity of thought, different perspectives, and unique problem-solving skills to meet the challenge. I always say that cloning is overrated, but people with disabilities, the blind, and the vision impaired were underrated. But as Bob Dylan said in the 60s, the times they are changing. That's really not bad sung. I wanted to and play it with the band, but I just didn't at the time. So and probably glad I didn't. So what I say is that people that are vision impaired and blind were great problem solvers. We have it woven into our DNA. I tell people, we don't think outside the box. We stop the box. And there's a group in North Carolina, at North Carolina State, that call themselves box stoppers after I talked to them. They created a group that they're trying to think outside the box. And what people don't know in society is there's so much assistive technologies for people vision impaired and blind. You know, and there's AI now. So with my phone, I can see if I can get it going. It has something called VoiceOver built in, but I can read my emails as good as a sighted person. I can say if I have 4 or 4 bars, but I use my eyes. I'm like, oh. So let's see if I can. Let me put this back up for you a little bit. There's so many things. I can write term papers. I can write research papers. I've done that. I've done PowerPoints in rooms this big for flight readiness review with people, with my charts up there, and being able to do all that. But all this assistive technology is important, but most of society, especially employers, are not aware of it. You know, they just don't. And even worse is that they'll tell somebody when they find out they have a visual impairment or they have are blind, they'll try to tell them, keep your head down. Don't dream big, dream small. Be glad that we give you the crumbs from the table of life. And it just is not right. And so our job is to educate people so they know about these assistive technologies. That they give people, you know, I never wanted a free job. What I wanted was an opportunity, and if I perform, I keep performing. That's what we want, give people opportunity. So changing it just a little, because I work with all the international partners, I got to know people, you know, in a far, far away galaxy. And I had this white cane I used. And the guy said, what are you doing? So he gave me something that I use occasionally, but it's a little dangerous for a blind person. Can you bring it over to me? This thing, it cuts through. I can go anywhere at any time. And you know what? People get out of my way. Thank you, Princess Lee. I thought I'd talk to you a little bit about my journey to NASA. When I was a kid, I started in the first grade. I had a speech impediment. I had a lisp, and I could not pronounce words good. And I remember being pulled out of classes, and kids would kid me a lot of times and say so-and-so, and I'd say it, they'd all giggle. So I went to special classes, and I remember 2 cue cards. As a young boy, what do you think of? Truck. You know, capital T-R, little u, capital C-K. This is when my grandmother snuck in. Church. Very good life lesson. Capital C-H, little u-r, capital C-H. And now, of course, you can hear I've overcome that. I found out I had dyslexia, and I was the world's worst speller on the planet. And dyslexia is very well known, and 1 out of 5 people, or 20% of the population, has it. So I was not good at English, and when I went to take my SAT to go to, going back just a little. So my mom, when I was little, I would bump into things because what happened with RP, it takes your peripheral vision, but your central vision is good. So I would go around, but if there's a table there, I'm like, now when I'm shorter, it's easier. But I would run into things, and I had my speech impediment. So they said, you need to take her and have his IQ tested. So they went and tested my IQ, and like any good mom, she took my older sister and my younger brother. So I would ask my mom how I did, and she said, you did okay. So I continued through school. She said, but your brother scored super high on the IQ. And so I would always go over to my brother and say, you scored super high on the IQ, didn't you? He said, oh yeah. I said, who works at NASA? Anyway, when I went to Georgia, they let me on probation. That's how I got to go to school in the summer to see if I could go in the fall. And I made a mistake of taking English, and I made a big L. So when I made that L, they said, no more school for you. So I went and worked in a cotton mill for a year, saving up money. My parents didn't pay for my school. And when I got enough money, I went back to remedial English, remedial comprehension, and I took grammar. And when I took those courses and passed them, which I had to pay for even though they didn't capture my grade, I got into school. So when I get into school, they assigned me a counselor. And I told her that I'm legally blind and I'm going to go blind eventually. And she said, you know what? You like math and physics and calculus, but you need to go into counseling for something you don't use your eyesight for. And I thought, I ain't hell with those courses. That's not what I want to do. So I changed counseling. Ended up getting a BS in computer science, and we had somebody come from NASA, a contractor, and I got hired on. So then I get to Houston, I say, I gotta find an eye doctor here, just keep, because I knew my vision was slowly deteriorating. And went to the eye doctor, and after he finished my exam, I didn't tell him the answer. I wanted to see if he got the same one. He said, you're legally blind. I said, yes, I knew that. He said, I'm going to have my sister come in and help fill out the paperwork. You can go on disability. I'll give us a prize or something. And people do need that. But I did because I had been working hard and earned my degree. So I changed doctor. So what I like to tell people is you will find people in your life that mean well. And they look and they don't fully understand your capabilities or your willpower or what you're going to do, and they will mislead you. So just believe in yourself if you have a dream and keep pursuing it. I went on to NASA, and when I was there, I started writing software for the shuttle simulator. And after I did that a while, I would have to demo it. The instructors or teachers of the astronaut write the requirement. So I wrote the software, and they said, you know what, you've got such great people skills. You know these models so well. How about you come over and teach? So I moved over to teaching. And when I got there, I believe it was my disability, my different point of view, my different perspective that really helped me. Because when I got there, we would do a class. And say you're flying the robotic arm that I talked about earlier. You grab the pedal, at some point you want to feel the elbow joint. That makes it a little bit harder to move around. You have to go to that system. So we would have to stand there and we'd have a page in front of us. I had to really memorize everything because I couldn't, if I needed to look at voltages, joint angles, I didn't know where they were so I could do like that. Then I had to pull up a malfunction page, insert it, and get back to the page to see how the crew reacted to failure. So I started thinking, you know what? If I could preload these, I could just concentrate on the student. So I actually wrote a requirement to automate the malfunction. We put them off mission elapsed time, we put them off GMT time, or off another thing. When they uncradle the arm, they're not going to failure. Because you don't want the failure to be from the beginning in the middle. And that helped everybody, not just me, but it really helped me because I wouldn't have to jump from one thing to another. And all the instructors could concentrate on their people. So I got awards for that. And there were several other innovations that I think because I came from outside the norm, and I would say it helped me. I also read software. So when they didn't have something, I said, shoot, I could write software to do that. It's much easier. So then I went to NASA in 1998, became a branch chief, and after 5 years, I was getting bored, but you know, you look at just 1 to 0 command delivery like software. I thought, I went to my boss and said, I want to do something different. I'm thinking of applying for a different job. About 2 weeks later, he came back and he said, Tracy, I need someone to set up all the interfaces for the international partners. But I know you're legally blind, and could you do at that international travel. Would that be too hard on you? Do you think you can do it? So you know what I love is that he came and we had a joint conversation. He didn't look at me and say, gosh, Tracy, you good. He can't see. He can't go to, Moscow, Germany, all these places. We talked about it. I told him what I could do and not do. Went home and prayed with my wife. Came back and did that for 5 years. Went to Moscow like 10 times. One time I did lock myself out of my room in my underwear. Back then, I wore whitey tighties. And then when I did to correct that problem, I now wear boxers. I went to Germany. I went to Oberpoppenhagen. Right, that's how I like saying Oberpoppenhagen. I went to Japan. I went to Paris. I went to Rome, Italy, Montreal. And I did all those things and helped all the international partners. Because when the Russians send command, they come to the control center. We go out to the White Sand. We go up to the teachers, the 200 data relay satellite, and we get to the station. And we just show it to them. Then all the literature comes back to us, and we tell them what they can send and what they can't, and all that is written down and discussed. So anyway, it really was great. And the thing I like to remind people is that he did not put a false barrier on me. We actually looked at somebody and we had a discussion. It might be I could not have done that job. So now I'd like to move over a little. Let's see if I can find it next. Oh, here it is. So I get asked all the time, have you ever seen an alien? Do you think aliens have ever visited our solar system? So now you can say, take a picture of you not seeing an alien. I come in peace. So I always do a lot of classes with Zoom. I do a lot of classes with Microsoft Teams for kids. And what I do is when I tell my stupid dad jokes, they mute all their microphones. So I tell a great joke, and nobody laughs. So do you think, people ask me, do you think aliens have visited our solar system? And I always say no. They check the rating, 1 star, the sun. Always get a laugh at each other. Always get a laugh at each other. All right, I'm going to move down the table a little bit. And, so what I'd like to talk to you now is about plan, train, fly. Plan, train, fly is what we call our flight controller. We plan our mission, we train for them, and then we fly a Super Bowl. Much like there's going to be football team, soccer team, the band, even your business. You plan out the fiscal year. And what you do is, I tell students, NASA says all the time, reach for the stars. We say, dream big. But we don't tell them how to dream, to reach their dream. Connect the dot, do a roadmap to it. So what I tell students is, we need to do the planning. Say you want to go and work for NASA. You go and look at, what kind of degree do I need? What kind of certification? Maybe I want to open up my own restaurant. I go and look, what does it take to have a restaurant? What type of food I have? Where would I want to open this restaurant? Then you go and you interview people. You find somebody in that field. I can tell you, when someone wants to talk to me, it's flattering. Because if someone wants to do what I'm doing, I must be doing something right. So go and interview those people. Talk to them about what to do. If you want to be an electrician, go find out what they did. Did they start off their own business or they open up later? Once you have, and this can also be for us adults that are retired, you want to learn how to play the harmonica because you were inspired tonight, or you want to learn to play an instrument or something. So what you do is you make your plan, and then you've got to have a schedule. So they have, you make a schedule with objectives. So you say, okay, this summer, if I want to start a restaurant, I'm going to get a job in a restaurant. One of the type of restaurants I kind of like. If I want to be an engineer, maybe I can find somebody at the university that would let me shadow them, at least for a day. Find out what their work week is like. I tell them when they do this too, is to write down their dream. You know, I tell them, put it on your mirror. I want to work as an engineer at NASA. Tape it on your mirror. Make it your email address. Tracy, wants to be an engineer at gmail.com. Whatever it takes to remind you. Then put it in a calendar because you've got to have a schedule and have it come up once a month. And when it comes up, you say, darn, I haven't even taken step 1 on that plan. You know what? Don't quit. You adjust the schedule. It may be that you ended up going to Fargo, North Dakota, and you didn't plan it. So it puts you a little bit behind. And then you can even print it on a t-shirt. And let me see. This is my, right? I have PRPM 31. I have it on a t-shirt. People ask me, I want a cure for this. I want a cure for LA. So put it on a t-shirt. I'm going to work at NASA. Whatever it's going to be, I'm going to be an electrician and do that. And then once you do all that, you can fly and you can reach your dream. So over here, I have a potato. And this is Mr. Potato Head. So I'm going to take his ears out. One may have fallen off. Probably hit it. Anyway, so you won't hear what I'm going to do. I'm going to take away his eyes so you won't see what I'm going to do. And I'm going to take away his mouth so you won't hear him scream. So this is a physics thing from Newton's law. So these are regular straws. And this is really a physicist experiment where it says force equals mass times acceleration. For the station, even the shuttle, every once in a while, something's coming very small at this potato, or really, the space station. We have to move it up or down. We call it debris avoiding maneuvers. I won't say what that acronym is, but we're in church. But anyway, we will avoid this thing going up. So it's also, if you're riding in your car and a rocket's going, a very small object traveling fast can do great damage. So, what I like to do is change this into a life lesson. This is an obstacle in your life. Something says, I'm not good enough. I'm an imposter. I can't do it. I can't run and play the guitar at 60. I could never work at NASA. I can't pass that math test. I couldn't do a 5K. What you do is if you put a plan together, you're here, you want to go here, you get focused, and then what you have to do is you have to take action. That's what we don't do. We make all these dreams, all these plans, we don't take action. But if you do, you can burst through to the other side and get to where you want to go. This is how we finish the French line. But I'm sure how much time I have? A minute? 1 minute. Good. I have time for my William Wallace speech. Sherry, is the chair wobbly or not? Oh, fine. That makes it even better. I always make people nervous when an old man gets up in a chair and gives a speech, and my legs are shaking. All right, I think I got. Yeah, sure. This is the house. All right. So this is from the movie Braveheart. I am William Wallace, and I see before me a whole army of my countrymen and women. You are free men and women. You come as free men and women. Free men and women you are. What would you do without causes in your life? We go home. We open our phone and do a sleep. Alright, go home and sleep, and you will live at least for a while. Die in your bed many years from now. But would you be willing to trade all the days from this day to that to tell your children and your children's children, I chose to give, I chose to serve, I chose to live, I chose to love. As Gene Kranz said, failure is not an option.
In 30 years from now, when Clint and I are well into our 80s, when our children are living their adult life, when Elliot is living his adult life, in a professional career, my biggest wish is that anyone that is diagnosed with a rare retinal disease like Elliot was, that they have a place to go to where they don't have to have such fear and grief. I didn't have a place to walk into to really give me give our family pamphlets, information. It's going to be okay. Here's resources for you. We really had to find it on our own. I really see our organization growing and being that support for families, for individuals, and I really hope that we can be, again, a small glimpse of being able to support treatment out there and really being able to say, we were part of that, of being able to have that child see. We were part of that adult who has been blind for 21 years and now is walking outside and seeing the flowers, is seeing the green of the tree. That is our ultimate goal with this organization.